Welcome to this exciting journey of learning English. In today's episode, we are talking about a special technique called shadowing. This method is simple to use, but it can bring big changes to the way you speak English. Let me explain what shadowing is and why it can be so helpful for your English learning. Chapter 1. What is shadowing? Shadowing is a method where you listen to someone speaking English, and you repeat what they say right after them. It's like you are their shadow, following their words and voice closely. Imagine standing behind someone and copying their movements step by step. Shadowing works the same way, but instead of copying movements, you are copying sounds, words, and tone. It is not just repeating words. You are trying to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and even their emotions as they speak. This method works best when you use short sentences or phrases. For example, if you hear someone say, "How are you today?" you quickly repeat, "How are you today?" right after them. The goal is to sound as similar to them as possible. You don't need to stop the audio or video to think about the words. Just listen and speak right away. Over time, this will train your brain to process English faster. Shadowing is a very active way of learning. It is different from just listening or reading. When you shadow, your brain is doing three things at the same time. First, you are listening carefully to the sounds of English. Second, you are speaking the same words. Third, you are matching the rhythm and flow of the speaker. This makes shadowing a powerful tool for improving your speaking skills. One great thing about shadowing is that it helps you practice like a native speaker. When you copy their pronunciation, you learn how to say words the correct way. Many English learners struggle with sounding natural. Shadowing gives you a chance to hear and practice the real sounds of English. It helps you understand how native speakers connect words, change their tone, and add emotion to their sentences. Another reason shadowing is so helpful is that it makes you focus on listening and speaking at the same time. Many people study English by reading books or writing sentences. But when it's time to talk, they feel nervous or slow. Shadowing can solve this problem because it trains you to speak English smoothly and quickly. The more you practice, the easier it will be to find the right words when you need them. Shadowing is also fun and flexible. You can practice it anywhere, at home, in the park, or even while walking. All you need is a device to play the audio or video. You can choose anything you like, a podcast, a movie, or even a YouTube video. Pick something interesting so you enjoy the process. The more fun you have, the more likely you are to keep practicing. This technique is not only for beginners. Even advanced learners can benefit from shadowing. It helps you polish your skills and sound more fluent. For beginners, it's a great way to start speaking without worrying too much about grammar or creating your own sentences. For advanced learners, it helps improve fluency, accent, and confidence. Remember, shadowing is not about being perfect. At first, you might feel it's hard to keep up with the speaker. That's okay. You can start with slower audios or short sentences. As you practice more, you will get better and faster. The key is to practice regularly. Even if you practice for just 10 minutes a day, you will see progress over time. So, what is shadowing? It is a method of copying and learning from native speakers. It is simple to try, fun to do, and very effective. By practicing shadowing, you can improve your pronunciation, listening skills, and confidence in speaking English. It is like having a personal language coach with you whenever you want. Start shadowing today and see how it can change your English. Chapter 2. Why is shadowing important? Let's talk about why shadowing is such an important method for learning English. When you learn a new language, you might feel that speaking is the hardest part. Many people can read and write English, but when it's time to talk, they freeze. They don't know how to start or how to sound natural. Shadowing can solve this problem. It is a simple way to train yourself to speak confidently and clearly. Let me explain why shadowing works so well and why you should try it. One reason shadowing is so important is that it helps you sound natural. Many English learners feel that their pronunciation is not good enough. They worry about their accent or how they say words. Shadowing is like learning directly from a native speaker. When you listen carefully to how they speak and copy them, you learn the correct pronunciation of words. You also hear how they connect words in a sentence. For example, native speakers don't always say, "I want to." Instead, they might say, "I wanna." Shadowing helps you pick up these small but important details. Shadowing also helps you understand the rhythm and flow of English. Every language has its own music. Some words are spoken louder or faster, while others are softer or slower. English has a rhythm that can feel strange if your native language is different. When you shadow, you start to notice this rhythm. You learn when to stress a word and when to relax. This makes your speech sound smoother and more like a native speaker. Another reason shadowing is important is that it trains your brain to think in English. When you repeat what you hear, you don't have time to translate from your native language. Your brain has to work quickly to understand and speak at the same time. This process helps you get used to thinking directly in English. The more you practice, the faster your brain gets. Over time, you will notice that you don't need to think as much before speaking. Words will come to you more naturally. Shadowing is also a great way to improve your listening skills. Listening is a big part of communication. If you can't understand what someone is saying, it's hard to reply. When you shadow, you are training your ears to hear English sounds clearly. You start to notice words, phrases, and patterns that you didn't catch before. This makes it easier to follow conversations, even with fast speakers. One of the best things about shadowing is that it builds your confidence. Speaking a new language can feel scary. You might worry about making mistakes or sounding silly. But when you shadow, you are practicing in a safe way. You don't have to create your own sentences or think about grammar. You just follow the speaker. This gives you a chance to focus on your pronunciation and tone without pressure. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel when it's time to speak on your own. Shadowing is also important because it helps you learn in a natural way. Many traditional methods of learning English focus on grammar rules and vocabulary lists. These are helpful, but they don't always prepare you for real conversations. Shadowing is different. It teaches you how people actually speak in daily life. You hear common expressions, slang, and natural ways of saying things. This makes your English sound more real and less like a textbook. Another benefit of shadowing is that it works for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a beginner or advanced learner. Beginners can use shadowing to start speaking simple sentences and get comfortable with the sounds of English. Advanced learners can use it to improve their fluency and sound more like a native speaker. It is a flexible method that adapts to your level. Shadowing is also easy to do. You don't need a teacher, a classroom, or expensive tools. All you need is a good audio or video to listen to. You can choose something you enjoy, like a movie, podcast, or song. This makes learning fun and keeps you motivated. When you enjoy what you are doing, you are more likely to stick with it. In conclusion, shadowing is an important tool for learning English because it improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and listening skills. It trains your brain to think in English and helps you speak with confidence. Shadowing also teaches you natural, everyday English in a way that is fun and simple. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced learner, shadowing can help you reach your goals. So why not give it a try? It might be the key to speaking English like a pro. Chapter 3: How to Start Shadowing. Now that you know what shadowing is and why it is important, let's talk about how to get started. Shadowing is simple, but there are some steps you can follow to make it more effective. Many learners feel unsure about how to begin, but don't worry. I will guide you through the process. By the end of this chapter, you will know how to start shadowing and make it a part of your daily learning routine. The first step is to choose the right material. Shadowing works best when you use audio or video that is clear and easy to understand. You can pick a podcast, a YouTube video, a movie clip, or even an audiobook. If you are a beginner, it's a good idea to start with something simple, like children's stories or short conversations. For advanced learners, you can try more challenging materials, like news reports or interviews. The key is to choose something that matches your level and interests. When you enjoy the content, shadowing becomes more fun and less like work. Before you start repeating, take a moment to listen carefully. Play the audio or video and focus on understanding the words and the meaning. At this stage, you don't need to repeat anything. Just listen and pay attention to how the speaker talks. Notice their pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. This will help you get familiar with the sounds and flow of English. If you don't understand everything, that's okay. You can listen a few more times until it feels comfortable. After listening, it's time to start shadowing. Play the audio or video again and repeat what the speaker says right after them. Try to copy them as closely as possible. Focus on their pronunciation, speed, and tone. Don't worry if you can't say it perfectly at first. The goal is to practice and improve over time. If the speaker is too fast, you can slow down the audio or pause it after each sentence. This gives you more time to repeat and practice. When you shadow, don't just copy the words. Try to match the speaker's emotion and expression. For example, if they sound happy, try to sound happy too. If they sound serious, match their tone. This helps you learn not just the words, but also how to use them naturally in different situations. It's like acting, you are imitating not only their voice but also their feelings. Shadowing works best when you practice regularly. You don't need to spend hours every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes can make a big difference. The key is to be consistent. Set aside some time each day for shadowing. You can do it in the morning, during lunch, or before bed, whatever fits your schedule. The more often you practice, the faster you will see results. If you find shadowing difficult at first, don't give up. It's normal to feel slow or unsure in the beginning. Remember, you are training your brain and your mouth to do something new. It takes time and patience. Start with small steps. Practice short sentences or phrases before moving on to longer ones. As you get more comfortable, you can challenge yourself with faster or more complex materials. One helpful tip is to use subtitles or transcripts when you shadow. If the audio has subtitles, read them as you listen. This helps you see the words while you hear them, making it easier to understand and repeat. Some podcasts or videos also come with transcripts. You can use these to check your understanding and learn new vocabulary. However, try not to rely on subtitles too much. Once you feel more confident, try shadowing without them. Another great idea is to record yourself while shadowing. Use your phone or a voice recorder to capture your voice as you repeat. Then, listen to the recording and compare it to the original audio. This helps you hear your mistakes and areas for improvement. Maybe your pronunciation is a little off, or your tone doesn't match the speaker's. By listening to yourself, you can make corrections and get better. Shadowing is also more fun when you do it with different kinds of materials. Don't stick to just one audio or video. Try a variety of content like songs, TV shows, speeches, or conversations. This keeps your practice interesting and exposes you to different accents, topics, and styles of speaking. The more variety you have, the more flexible and confident you will become in real conversations. In summary, starting shadowing is easy if you follow a few simple steps. Choose materials you enjoy, listen carefully, and repeat after the speaker. Focus on pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. Practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Use subtitles or transcripts if needed, and don't be afraid to record yourself. With regular practice, shadowing will become a powerful habit that helps you speak English like a pro. Chapter 4: Common Mistakes in Shadowing. Shadowing is a wonderful technique for improving your English speaking skills. It helps you sound more natural, builds your confidence, and trains your brain to think in English. However, like any learning method, there are common mistakes that learners make when they start shadowing. These mistakes can slow down your progress or make shadowing less effective. In this chapter, I will explain these mistakes and show you how to avoid them. By understanding these points, you can make the most of your shadowing practice. One common mistake is trying to speak too fast. When you shadow, it's tempting to match the speaker's speed immediately. However, if the speaker talks very fast, you might struggle to keep up. This can make you feel frustrated or stressed. Remember, it's not about how fast you speak, it's about speaking clearly and correctly. If the audio is too fast, you can slow it down. Many apps and devices allow you to adjust the playback speed. Start with a slower speed and focus on saying the words correctly. Once you feel more comfortable, you can gradually increase the speed. Another mistake is focusing only on the sounds without understanding the meaning. Shadowing is not just about repeating what you hear. It's also about learning how the words are used in real situations. Some learners focus so much on copying the sounds that they forget to think about the meaning. This can make shadowing feel mechanical and less useful. To avoid this, take time to understand the sentences before you repeat them. Listen carefully and try to grasp the meaning of what the speaker is saying. If you don't understand a word or phrase, look it up. This way, you are learning both pronunciation and vocabulary. Some learners also make the mistake of skipping regular practice. Shadowing works best when you do it consistently. If you practice one day but skip the next 3, you won't see much progress. Like any skill, improving your speaking requires regular effort. Even if you only have 10 minutes a day, try to practice every day. Consistency is more important than the amount of time you spend. Think of shadowing as a daily habit, like brushing your teeth or exercising. The more you practice, the faster you will improve. Another issue is focusing too much on perfection. When you shadow, it's natural to want to sound exactly like the speaker. While this is a good goal, it's important not to stress about being perfect. You might mispronounce a word or miss a part of the sentence, and that's okay. Making mistakes is a normal part of learning. Instead of worrying about perfection, focus on doing your best and improving step by step. Over time, your pronunciation and rhythm will get better naturally. Some learners also forget to pay attention to tone and emotion. Shadowing is not just about saying the words, it's about how you say them. For example, if the speaker sounds excited, try to match their excitement. If they sound serious, try to match their seriousness. Tone and emotion are a big part of natural communication. By practicing these, you will sound more like a native speaker. Listening to the speaker's voice carefully will help you understand how to match their tone. Another mistake is using the wrong materials. If you choose audio or video that is too hard, you might feel discouraged. For example, a beginner might struggle with a fast news report, while an advanced learner might find simple children's stories too easy. To make shadowing effective, pick materials that match your level. If the audio feels too difficult, start with something easier. As you improve, you can move on to more challenging content. Sometimes learners stick to one type of material for too long. While it's good to practice with familiar content, using a variety of materials can help you improve faster. Different speakers have different accents, tones, and ways of speaking. By shadowing a variety of voices, you can become more flexible and ready for real-life conversations. Try to include podcasts, movies, interviews, and more in your shadowing practice. Another mistake is ignoring feedback. When you shadow, it's helpful to record yourself and listen to your performance. This lets you hear your mistakes and notice areas for improvement. Some learners skip this step because they feel shy or uncomfortable listening to their own voice. However, feedback is a powerful tool for learning. By comparing your voice to the original audio, you can identify what to work on, such as pronunciation, speed, or tone. Finally, some learners stop shadowing too soon. They practice for a few weeks, see some improvement, and then stop. While it's great to notice progress, shadowing is most effective when it becomes a long-term habit. Even advanced learners can benefit from shadowing to refine their skills and maintain fluency. Think of shadowing as a journey, not a quick fix. The more you practice, the more confident and fluent you will become. In conclusion, shadowing is a powerful method for learning English, but it's important to avoid common mistakes. Don't rush or aim for perfection. Focus on understanding the meaning, practicing regularly, and matching the speaker's tone. Choose materials that match your level and include variety in your practice. Use feedback to improve, and keep shadowing as part of your learning routine. By avoiding these mistakes, you can make shadowing a fun and effective way to improve your English. Chapter 5: Benefits of Shadowing. Shadowing is more than just a way to practice English. It's a powerful tool that can change the way you speak and understand the language. Many learners feel nervous about speaking English, but shadowing can help build confidence and fluency. In this chapter, we will explore the many benefits of shadowing and why it is such an effective method for improving your English skills. One of the biggest benefits of shadowing is that it improves your pronunciation. Many learners struggle with saying words correctly because English sounds are often different from their native language. When you shadow, you copy the way native speakers pronounce words. This helps you learn the correct sounds and how to shape your mouth to produce them. Over time, your pronunciation becomes clearer and more natural. This means people will understand you better when you speak. Another great benefit of shadowing is that it helps you learn the rhythm and flow of English. Every language has its own rhythm, and English is no different. Native speakers connect words in a special way, and they often change the way words sound when they speak quickly. For example, what do you want? Might sound like would I want? Shadowing teaches you how these changes happen and helps you speak in a smoother, more natural way. Shadowing also trains your listening skills. Listening is a key part of communication, and it can be difficult for learners to understand fast speech or unfamiliar accents. When you shadow, you are listening carefully to every word and sound. This makes your ears sharper and helps you catch details that you might have missed before. As a result, you will find it easier to follow conversations, even with native speakers who talk quickly. Another important benefit of shadowing is that it helps you build confidence. Speaking a new language can feel scary, especially if you worry about making mistakes. Shadowing gives you a safe way to practice speaking without pressure. You don't need to think about what to say or worry about grammar. You simply follow the speaker. This makes it easier to focus on improving your speaking skills. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel when it's time to have real conversations. Shadowing also helps you think in English. Many learners translate from their native language when they speak. This takes time and can make sentences sound unnatural. Shadowing trains your brain to process English directly. When you repeat sentences quickly after hearing them, your brain gets used to understanding and responding in English. Over time, this makes it easier to find the right words without translating. Another benefit of shadowing is that it improves your vocabulary and grammar. When you shadow, you are exposed to new words and phrases in context. You hear how these words are used naturally, which helps you remember them better. You also learn grammar in action without needing to memorize rules. For example, you might hear how native speakers use the past tense or connect ideas in a sentence. This helps you improve your speaking in a natural way. Shadowing is also very flexible. You can practice it anytime and anywhere. Whether you are at home, on a bus, or taking a walk, you can use shadowing to improve your English. All you need is a device to play the audio or video. You can even choose materials that match your interests, like movies, podcasts, or songs. This makes learning enjoyable and keeps you motivated. One more benefit of shadowing is that it works for all levels. If you are a beginner, you can start with simple sentences and short conversations. If you are advanced, you can use shadowing to polish your accent and improve your fluency. No matter where you are in your learning journey, shadowing can help you get better. It adapts to your needs and helps you reach the next level. Finally, shadowing prepares you for real-life conversations. When you practice copying native speakers, you learn how they speak in daily life. This includes common expressions, slang, and even cultural nuances. Shadowing helps you sound more natural and makes it easier to communicate with native speakers. You will feel more comfortable joining conversations and expressing yourself clearly. In conclusion, shadowing is a powerful and versatile method for learning English. It improves your pronunciation, listening, and confidence. It helps you think in English, learn new vocabulary, and prepare for real-life conversations. Whether you are just starting or already advanced, shadowing can help you achieve your English speaking goals. Give it a try, and you'll see how much progress you can make. In conclusion, shadowing is a simple yet powerful technique to improve your English speaking skills. By understanding what shadowing is, why it's important, and how to practice it effectively, you can make steady progress towards speaking English fluently and confidently. Avoid common mistakes, stay consistent, and enjoy the many benefits it offers, from better pronunciation to increased confidence and natural communication skills. Shadowing is a flexible and fun way to learn, and with regular practice, you'll be well on your way to speaking English like a pro.